Good morning, everybody. Christina Becker is here, and we're talking about dream analysis. You are a Jungian psychoanalyst and psychotherapist, correct?
That's correct.
Great to have you here with us.
It's wonderful to be here.
We started thinking about this because Dave and I were discussing dreams last week and these dreams that we've been having. But do dreams always have significance, or are they just random, come and go?
No, they always have significance. They always are trying to tell you something that you don't know.
Should you listen?
Absolutely.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely.
And are they always spontaneous? Why can't I get back to one if I wake up?
Well, that's actually a really good question, because I think sometimes we lose the dream thread, or we're not quite prepared to listen to what the dream actually has to say to us.
Yeah.
So I know sometimes that I wake up, and if the dream is not quite strong enough to come over into my consciousness, it's like running after it. It kind of slips away.
Yeah, so it breaks the narrative thread.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you can't get back into it.
That's right. So often what I do is I'll before, when I'm aware I'm having a dream, I will just go over it a little bit before I actually wake up, and then I can go and write it down.
So you're conscious enough of your subconscious message to do that?
Sometimes.
So you can milk a dream?
Yes, actually, you can.
Now, Dave has this recurring dream, that you're looking at Niagara Falls.
First of all, it's not it's a nightmare to me, so I don't know where dreams lap into nightmares. I think this is just semantics, isn't it?
Well, actually, no, it's not really semantics. I think that when the unconscious really wants to get your attention, it will come with increasing force. So if you've had a recurring dream that you've not understood, or you've not really paid attention to, the unconscious comes, and each time it wants to convey the message to you, it comes with increasing force. So by the time we're having nightmares, it means that, the dream world really wants to get your attention.
Okay, so what it does is it puts me in a small boat about half a mile above the falls on the Niagara River, and I cannot get to shore in time. I can't paddle myself or row myself fast enough to shore. And I
Do you actually go over the falls?
I get to the brink, and then I snap
and then you
out
wake
of it.
up.
Oh, absolutely.
So I would, if I was analyzing that dream, I would look at where are you anxious about something? Are you anxious about falling? Are you anxious about going over a cliff of some sort, or going over the falls? The dreams actually reflect. It's very interesting because dreams are symbolic messages. So if you just think about the idioms that we use, just in the way that we're talking, falling over a cliff or going over the falls, and what would that actually look like in your waking life if you actually did that? It's interesting because dreams actually take physical actions and then translate them into psychological messages.
But is this good on any level, this going over the falls? Is there a good outcome to this anywhere? Not so much.
Not so much.
No.
Well, it all depends, though, because if you actually look at what the dream is trying to tell you, then maybe you'll stop having the dream.
So once you address the issue,
once you address the issue, then the dream maker says, okay, we've sent that message, it's been received.
And falling is really quite a common theme for a lot of people.
It is. And, sometimes it's like if you've got, let's say, a too lofty attitude, or you're not grounded, or maybe you're thinking too much and not in touch with your feelings, or not, needing to have your feet planted on the earth. Sometimes you'll have a dream where you're on let's say, the top of a skyscraper, or you're on the top floor of a building or something like that, and you need to get down to the ground. You need to be, your feet firmly planted on the ground and to be in touch with something.
Well, why are dreams always speaking in metaphors? Why can't they just tell you, okay, this is what you're upset about, you should just deal with this?
Because we're talking about the unconscious and the soul speaks in the language of metaphors and symbols. It's just the way we're hardwired.
I was having a dream consistently, it seemed, for the past couple of weeks, where people were upset with me, and it was always a different scenario, but the outcome was always the same, where someone was disappointed or they were angry at me over and over and over. So was I just worried about others' opinions? Because I don't think anyone was particularly upset.
Yeah,
with me.
I would explore that. Are you so concerned about other people's opinions that you don't like confrontation?
I don't like confrontation.
There, yeah. So you don't like disappointing people. You don't like people being angry at you.
So I needed to sit down and think more about,
like, what was going on in the previous couple of days that maybe you were worried that somebody was angry about with you, or you were concerned that you had disappointed somebody because you know, for whatever reason.
Last night I had a dream that, and it stuck right with me, that my husband and I checked into our favorite hotel, this amazing hotel, and we went into the room, and there was another family in there, and they were like, yeah, we're in the room too. And I'm like, what? And they said, yeah, we're sharing the room. And I was so upset, and I was calling down to the front desk, and I'm like, this is unacceptable. You know, I'm not sharing the room with another family. And they're like, no, it's going to be fine. What's that about?
Mean?
Like her.
Yeah,
are you sure it wasn't the kids and the nanny in the room?
Yeah,
What does that mean?
Well, you see, every aspect of a dream is an aspect of yourself. And so, what I would do to approach that dream is I would start to explore your personal associations to the family. You know, what's the configuration? Who's there? How do you feel about them? It's obviously something that is entered into your consciousness when you're in a relaxed mode.
They were strangers, though. I didn't know the other
Right,
family.
so it's a part of yourself that you don't actually know very well.
Why is it that some people can have vivid dreams that they remember when they get up, and some people just have no memory?
Well, we dream every night, and it's just an issue of training ourselves to remember. Some people they value them, they write them down, and I often find that in my practice people say, oh, well, you know, I don't remember my dreams. And I say, well, as soon as you start to pay attention to them, they'll start to come more often. I also find that when we are often too busy, our energy is more focused into our outer world rather than our inner world. We tend not to remember our dreams.
Can I speak in? I just want to speak in an email real quick, because a couple of people, Marissa sent in via Facebook and Joe sent an email, but they were both generally saying that they dream about money. Receiving money, getting money, whether it's winning a lottery or just being given money. What would that mean?
Well, I would look at what their relationship is to money. I mean, money is a reflection of value, of exchange. People often associate their self-worth on how much money they make. So the dreamer needs to explore what their personal relationship is to money and what is it that they want to get more of. I would say they're probably wanting to get more value out of something because they're wanting to attract more energy. It's also energy. It's an exchange of energy. Mm-hmm. So when you use money, you are saying this is of value to me.
Right. So interesting. Christina Becker, thank you so much. She's a Jungian psychoanalyst and psychotherapist with a practice here in Toronto. And thanks, everyone, for sending in your emails. That was just great.
Thank you.
8:33 now. We'll be back in just a second.
Do you know what I think will happen someday?
What?
I think you'll be able to go to sleep. You'll be able to pass something on your